The United States Agency for International Development is an independent agency of the United States federal government that is primarily responsible for administering civilian foreign aid and development assistance. With a budget of over $27 billion, Usaid is one of the largest official aid agencies in the world and accounts for more than half of all U.S. foreign assistance. The highest in the world in absolute dollar terms. Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act on September 4, 1961, which reorganized U.S. foreign assistance programs and mandated the creation of an agency to administer economic aid. Usaid was subsequently established by the executive order of President John F. Kennedy, who sought to unite several existing foreign assistance organizations and programs under one agency. Usaid became the first U.S. foreign assistance organization whose primary focus was long-term socioeconomic development. USAID's programs are authorized by Congress in the Foreign Assistance Act, which Congress supplements through directions in annual funding appropriation acts and other legislation. As an official component of U.S. foreign policy, Usaid operates subject to the guidance of the President, Secretary of State, and the National Security Council. Usaid has missions in over 100 countries, primarily in Africa, Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. USAID's mission statement, adopted in February 2018, is, on behalf of the American people, we promote and demonstrate democratic values abroad, and advance a free, peaceful, and prosperous world. In support of America's foreign policy, the U.S. Agency for International Development leads the U.S. government's international development and disaster assistance through partnerships and investments that save lives, reduce poverty, strengthen democratic governance, and help people emerge from humanitarian crises and progress beyond assistance. USAID's decentralized network of resident field missions is drawn on to manage U.S. government programs in low-income countries for a range of purposes. Some of the U.S. government's earliest foreign aid programs provided relief in crises created by war. In 1915, USG assistance through the Commission for Relief in Belgium headed by Herbert Hoover prevented starvation in Belgium after the German invasion. After 1945, the European Recovery Program championed by Secretary of State George Marshall helped rebuild war-torn Western Europe. Usaid manages relief efforts after wars and natural disasters through its Office of U.S. Foreign Disaster Assistance in Washington, D.C. Privately funded U.S. non-governmental organizations SN. The U.S. military also play major roles in disaster relief overseas. After 1945, many newly independent countries needed assistance to relieve the chronic deprivation afflicting their low-income populations. Usaid and its predecessor agencies have continuously provided poverty relief in many forms, including assistance to public health and education services targeted at the poorest. Usaid has also helped manage food aid provided by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Also, Usaid provides funding to NGOs to supplement private donations in relieving chronic poverty. Technical cooperation between nations is essential for addressing a range of cross-border concerns, like communicable diseases, environmental issues, trade and investment cooperation, safety standards for traded products, money laundering, and so forth. The USG has specialized agencies dealing with such areas, such as the Centers for Disease Control and the Environmental Protection Agency. USAID's special ability to administer programs in low-income countries supports these and other USG agencies' international work on global concerns. Among these global interests, environmental issues attract high attention. Usaid assists projects that conserve and protect threatened land, water, forests, and wildlife. Usaid also assists projects to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and to build resilience to the risks associated with global climate change. U.S. environmental regulation laws require that programs sponsored by Usaid should be both economically and environmentally sustainable. To support U.S. geopolitical interests, Congress appropriates exceptional financial assistance to allies, largely in the form of economic support funds. Usaid is called on to administer the bulk of ESF and is instructed, to the maximum extent feasible, provide assistance consistent with the policy directions, purposes, and programs of. Also, when U.S. troops are in the field, Usaid can supplement the civil affairs programs that the U.S. military conducts to win the friendship of local populations. In these circumstances, Usaid may be directed by specially appointed diplomatic officials of the State Department, as has been done in Afghanistan and Pakistan during operations against Al-Qaeda. U.S. commercial interests are served by U.S. law's requirement. The